Hello, welcome to ThePrint. I'm Amna Begum Ansari. And growing up in India, I often heard that democracy was where the silence finally found a voice. And now New York City seems to be finding a new voice. The capital of capitalism might soon elect a socialist as its mayor. Whatever one thinks of Zohran Mamdani, the 34-year-old state assembly member once dismissed as an outsider, his rise marks an extraordinary turn in American politics. For the Democratic Party and for the city that defines so much of America's identity, his potential victory isn't just another election result. Some are already calling it the most significant breakthrough for socialism in modern US history. Mamdani's campaigns speak to the everyday struggle of city life, rent, transport, and survival. Endorsement from Bernie Sanders and AOC have turned it into something larger, a test for what American left can still mean to people. But with that hope comes unease. The race has exposed the cracks within the Democratic Party and within the South Asian community. The vote seems divided. What's more surprising is that despite his open criticism of Israel, Mamdani is leading among Jewish voters. Political loyalties are changing. People are choosing conviction over comfort, even when it unsettles the familiar lines of identity. Following Indian politics means religious polarization has long stopped being shocking, but seeing similar methods surface in New York's mayoral race feels both ironic and unsettling. Mamdani's Muslim identity has become an easy target. God forbid another 9/11. Can you imagine Mamdani's in the seat? Said former governor and independent mayoral candidate Andrew Cuomo on a conservative radio show. The host Sid replied he'd be cheering, to which Cuomo laughed and added, "That's another problem." It's the same old playbook, fear dressed up as caution, prejudice disguised as a concern. That such words can echo in the heart of the world's most diverse city shows how thin the line really is between democracy and demagoguery. But interestingly, such tactics seems to be failing in America. We have seen this before during Barack Obama's campaign, when conservatives kept emphasizing the Hussein in his name as if it were proof of something sinister. It didn't work then, and looking at the current polls, it doesn't seem to be working with Mamdani either. And that in itself says something. Despite all the noise, fear still has its limits. People are learning to separate a name from an agenda, faith from politics. Mamdani's surge in popularity seems to be a clear expression of frustration with politics of Trump era. It's what makes this election bigger than one candidate. It's a way for people to push back against Trump's style of governance. The massive turnout for the No King protests mirrors the same sentiment, a rejection of authoritarian impulses and the consolidation of power, a refusal to accept politics that sideline dissenting voices. Mamdani's rise is a reflection of that collective exasperation. At the same time, Mamdani's candidacy forces uncomfortable questions about identity and belongings. Who counts as a real American? On the surface, it's absurd, but in the hand of some, it becomes a weapon. Republican Congressmen Randy Fine of Florida and Andy Ogles of Tennessee, both vocal supporters of Donald Trump, have gone so far as to urge the federal Justice Department to scrutinize Mamdani's path to citizenship. It's not about policy or capability, it's about identity, about using belongings as a litmus test for legitimacy. And that leads to the deeper question: does Mamdani's rise mark a shift in how we see American politics, or how immigrants communities see themselves within it? Because victory in the primary means little if the coalition dissolves when the general election hits. The moneyed interests, the corporate backers, the power brokers, they are turning their attention now. There is a history being made, but there is also a test ahead. Will this movement push politics toward inclusion, or will it buckle under its own weight? Will Mamdani become a mayor who governs for all New Yorker, or the mayor of his base, celebrated until the city asks him to deliver beyond them? For more such a video, keep watching The Print.